Year one for the 2025 quarterback class is in the books. We saw some great promise from some, while others struggled. In today's video, we will take a look at every rookie quarterback that got significant playing time in 2025 and see how their seasons went. There were 5 true rookies that got significant play time, as well as McCarthy, who isn't technically a rookie since this was his second NFL season. However, because of that injury he sustained last preseason, it really ended its rookie year before it got started, so we can pretty much count 2025 as his true rookie year. Alright, with that out of the way, let's take a look at our first quarterback. First up, we have Cam Ward. Cam Ward was drafted number 1 overall by the Tennessee Titans. No surprise, Tennessee achieved this pick by being the worst team in the NFL in 2024. They finished 3-14, and by the end of that year, they understood that second-round quarterback Will Levis was not the guy. Ward was the top prospect in what was considered a weak class. He was a former zero-star recruit who did well at Washington State before transferring to Miami and shooting up draft boards after a special 2024 season.
And I like Shedeur, but I also like Cam Ward because he came up the hard way. You know, he doesn't have 5-star syndrome like a lot of these guys. They were stars in high school. He didn't get recruited in high school. If I was a coach right now, I would be on somebody's rear about who recruited that area and didn't see this guy.
And Shedeur said, like, hey, we should make a song together or whatever. And he go, I don't make songs. He said, I'm a football player. When people search Cam Ward, I want to say American football. That is all I want.
For his composure, ability to extend plays, and playing more like a pocket passer, Ward compared to Jordan Love coming out of college.
They weren't flashing the scores down there. Ward lost the football, scooped up by Jaxson.
The first 6 games of Ward's rookie season were rough. He got sacked more than any other quarterback in the league, the team only won a single game in this stretch, and he threw more interceptions than touchdowns.
I mean, if we keeping a buck right now, we ass. So we 0-4.
The start of the season was so disastrous that the team fired head coach Brian Callahan after game number 6. The team continued to struggle after Callahan's firing, finishing the season with just 3 wins, which had them tied for the worst record in the NFL. The one redeeming fact about the season was Ward showed some improvement by the end.
And a career day for you. You set a new Titans rookie record for passing yards. You passed Marcus Mariota.
Following his first 6 starts, his next 10 saw better efficiency numbers. He was sacked less often, threw more touchdowns and less interceptions on average, and his passer rating skyrocketed by over 20 on average. Overall, Cam Ward had a mediocre rookie season due to a variety of factors. Rookie quarterbacks need great support around them, and he just did not have that. Combine that with poor play from Ward, and you have a forgettable year that leaves fans frustrated, hoping that things improve next season. It's not much consolation, but at least there was that slight improvement that we saw from Ward, plus the O-line did have some better continuity by the end of the year. With the hiring of Robert Saleh, we will see how this affects this young quarterback moving forward. Now, before we continue on to our next quarterback, this video is brought to you by SeatGeek. I recently went to the college football semifinal between Indiana and Oregon, which was electric. There's only a few NFL games remaining in this season, so why not get out to a game? And even with football season ending, with over 70,000 events available every day on SeatGeek, including concerts, other sports, festivals, and more, there's definitely something you'd enjoy. Also, World Cup tickets are now available on SeatGeek. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. And SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Look for the green dots. Green means good, and red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And if you're a first-time user of SeatGeek, use promo code KTO for $20 off tickets. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code KTO. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Shout out to SeatGeek for the sponsor. Now let's get back to the video. Up next, Jaxson Dart.
Jaxson Dart should not be drafted in the first round.
I'm more of the Jaxson Dart's more of a day 2 and beyond type of player than he is a day 1. I know we've heard plenty of rumors about him going in round 1.
With the 25th pick in the first round, the New York Giants traded up to select Ole Miss quarterback Jaxson Dart. Considering everybody believed Ward and Shedeur Sanders would be the first 2 quarterbacks off the board, this was a surprise.
Stand up. Let me see your snap count.
You ready?
Yeah. No, I want to hear the snap count.
Yeah.
Really? Every time?
Every time.
Do you have like a dummy clap or anything?
Yeah, we call it purple.
What's that? No shit.
Yeah.
For 3 years, you've been clapping. I think I could do that.
Let me hear it.
No, I ain't doing it.
Dart was a talented prospect, but there was plenty of analysts who didn't even see him as a round one talent, and certainly not ahead of Shedeur. This led to an ongoing conversation during the draft about how large the gap was between what the media believed versus what NFL teams actually thought.
People are going to go, Shedeur Sanders, why did he slide? Why did he fall? He didn't slide. He didn't fall. This is where the NFL viewed him. You were misled by people that didn't know what they were talking about.
Dart was known for his playmaking ability outside the pocket, drawing comparisons to Gardner Minshew with the build of Bo Nix. There was even some similarities of play style between him and Brock Purdy. And here's how NFL.com's Lance Zierlein described him. Dart has a stocky build and average physical attributes, but good makeup and intangibles. He's fairly accurate and won't strike anyone as a runner, but he can find some tough yards on the ground. For the first 3 games, he served as the backup to Russell Wilson, but the team struggled in those 3 games, and going into game number 4, Brian Daboll named Dart the starting quarterback. And from his debut, Dart looked impressive.
Dart, he can run. Can he ever? He can run all the way to the end zone.
In his first 3 starts, the team went 2-1, with both of those wins coming against future playoff teams.
Let's go!
The combination of Dart and running back Cam Scatterbo became a national storyline. These 2 rookies were making the Giants one of the most fun teams in the league to watch. This was something Giants fans just weren't used to. One of his knocks coming out of college was he wasn't that special of a runner, but Dart proved how valuable he was on the move. Now, after the initial hot start, the team began to struggle and went back to losing. After a fourth quarter collapse versus the Bears, head coach Brian Daboll was fired. Around this time, Dart missed a few games due to injury, but he came back and finished the season totaling 12 starts.
If I would have told you 6 months ago that we would be close to Halloween, and there's not a soul in the NFL, including the Titans, that would take Cam Ward over Jaxson Dart, you would have had a big smile on your face. You're like, are you serious? How good is this looking?
By the end, Dart had helped lead the Giants to their most points per game since Eli Manning's last full year in 2018. And this was without Scatterbo and Neighbors for most of the season due to injury. Dart produced a higher passer rating than all the other rookies, and this puts him right near league average. And his running ability proved to be extremely effective as he added close to 500 yards and 9 touchdowns on the ground. It's even crazier knowing how tough the Giants' schedule was. As of now, Giants fans are optimistic about Dart and the offense, saying things like this was the most fun offense they've watched in years despite not getting more wins. And with John Harbaugh becoming this team's next head coach, for the sake of Dart and his future, it's a good time to be an optimistic Giants fan. Next up, Tyler Shuck.
Oh my God. Oh, we're getting real weird now.
Oh, this is getting out of hand.
When Tyler Shuck was drafted, people were shocked. Shedeur Sanders was still surprisingly on the board, and somehow the Saints took a guy that nobody was really talking about. Shuck was a tall, older prospect who was seen as a high floor, low ceiling type of player. Coming out of Louisville, Shuck was close to the age of Jalen Hurts, and he compared to guys like Kirk Cousins, Blake Bortles, Nick Foles, and Matt Castle, those traditional pocket-passing, taller quarterbacks. For the first half of the season, he served as the backup to Spencer Rattler. And with the Saints looking like one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in football at 1-7, head coach Kellen Moore made the decision to start Tyler Shuck. This wasn't a highly talked about move around the league just due to how bad the team had been, plus the lack of hype for Shuck. However, despite that, Shuck was impressive. In his third start, Shuck threw for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns with a 128.9 passer rating. This was the first of 3 times that he put up at least a 110 QB rating. The team began to rattle off late season victories. Shuck had another great performance to sweep Carolina, and then he put on a clinic versus Cam Ward and the Titans, throwing for his second 300-yard game in a row, with an eye-popping 142.7 passer rating.
I got a text from a guy on their staff, I think after his first start, that said, we got a guy. He's big, he can run, he has touch.
When the season was over, Shuck finished 3rd in the NFL in completion percentage, 7th in yards per game, and 8th in passer rating since taking over as the starter. Saints fans on Reddit described him as having, quote, great accuracy and seemingly vet-level pocket presence. He finished with nearly an identical passer rating to Jaxson Dart, and he went 5-4 as the starter. which makes you wonder with how bad the NFC South was. If they would have started him from the beginning, would they have made the playoffs?
Make it 4 wins in a row, 333 yards on the day for you. How much fun are you guys having out there? How much confidence are you playing with?
I mean, you said it. We're just having fun.
As a mid-round pick, you can say that Shuck has been quietly solid, but due to where he was drafted, nothing is guaranteed. Teams don't necessarily build around you just because you had a decent season. Oftentimes, draft position does affect how a team views you, regardless of performance. As of now, Shuck has done enough to at least get another starting season to continue to prove himself. Up next, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. The next 2 quarterbacks drafted in 2025 are sort of inseparable for better or for worse, and that's because they were drafted to the same team. In the 3rd round, the Browns also shocked everyone, taking Oregon's Dillon Gabriel. This was a prospect that most felt was a late-round pick due to his lack of physical traits. He's small, doesn't possess a big arm, doesn't really have that much athletic ability. He projected as a high-floor backup in a McVay-Shanahan type scheme.
When I think Dillon Gabriel, I do not think Cleveland, Ohio, wind pumping, playing the Baltimore Ravens or the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that pick's kind of crazy.
People were thinking, how do you not pick Shedeur Sanders here before Dillon Gabriel? Well, 2 rounds later, with Shedeur still on the board, the Browns did draft the Colorado quarterback, which instantly became the biggest story of the entire weekend.
I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. 5th player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the 4th round. A quarterback that's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion. The NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterback.
Shedeur Sanders, the son of the legendary Deion Sanders, was expected to be an early 1st-round pick. He's a playmaking quarterback who has a calm poise in the pocket, who on any given play can give you an ESPN top 10 deep bomb or get sacked for a 20-yard loss. Combine that with his flashy personality, and you have the makings of a polarizing prospect. And the conversation around Shedeur was amplified tenfold as the season progressed. It was one storyline after another. Why did the Browns front office look unhappy when they selected him? Did the owner force his hand like he's known to do? You also heard things like, Stefanski hates him. Also, he's the best quarterback on the Browns. Why is he not getting a chance? Then you have others who say he's lucky to have gotten drafted. Oh, and then there was that time that Dillon Gabriel dissed him in a preseason endgame interview apparently. Maybe. Anything and everything turned into a story. And entering the 2025 season, the Browns initially had 4 quarterbacks, but they traded away Kenny Pickett before the regular season began. Once the regular season started, it was back to classic Cleveland Browns football. They lost a bunch of games, then they benched their starter, which in this case was Joe Flacco. This gave Dillon Gabriel a chance to prove himself. In 6 games, he was rather unspectacular. He wasn't atrocious, but because of his limitations, the offense was unexplosive, unproductive, and uninteresting. They didn't push the ball down the field and averaged 18 points a game in his first 5 starts, before he got injured against the Ravens. This gave Shedeur Sanders his first opportunity to be the Browns quarterback, and they never looked back. Honestly, it's kind of hard not to feel bad for Gabriel. The narrative was always against him due to having been drafted with Shedeur Sanders. Despite being picked before him, the media focused on Sanders like the picks were swapped. The organization did favor Gabriel though, and all in all, his performance was mediocre. He didn't do anything terribly, but there just wasn't much juice that he brought to the table. He looked like a backup. And now that Stefanski's gone, it's hard to know what his future in Cleveland looks like. Now, for Shedeur, after riding the pine for the first 9 games, he got his first action of the season in game number 10, like I said. And to put it lightly, the rest of the year was a roller coaster. He won his first start, becoming the first Browns quarterback to win his first start since 1995. Then he balled out against the Titans, putting up nearly 400 total yards and 4 touchdowns. Then he was atrocious, throwing 3 picks in a blowout loss to Chicago. He would proceed to have multiple turnovers in each of the following couple of games. Shedeur would make these amazing deep ball throws, but then he would throw jarring interceptions. He miraculously would escape sacks and dodge defenders to make a highlight reel first down. Then on the flip side, he would get sacked often for massive losses. It was an experience that, as a Browns fan, would have been infuriating if we were in the playoff hunt, but we were so bad that it was just more entertaining than anything. In the end, Shedeur went 3-5 as the starter with 2 wins against division rivals to end the season. Statistically, he was atrocious. He finished with 7 passing touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He also had a 68.1 passer rating and a brutal 19.0 QBR. When comparing the two rookie quarterbacks, Gabriel was more stable, but offered no juice, no explosiveness, and the offense suffered because of it. Sanders was much more exciting, but he was a roller coaster that couldn't be relied on consistently, and the offense suffered because of that. If you had to pick one, you'd probably pick Shedeur since he has more physical tools, but either way, both guys struggled in possibly the league's worst offense. After all, it's hard to succeed with the 32nd ranked receiving core and the 30th ranked offensive line, plus a trash run game. Lastly, JJ McCarthy. Now, for the last quarterback in this video, JJ McCarthy was a first-round pick meant to replace Kirk Cousins. But he got injured, and while injured, Sam Darnold became a Pro Bowler and for a brief moment made the Vikings look like a Super Bowl contender. But the question loomed throughout the season, what are they going to do at quarterback in 2025? Well, they let Sam go, for obvious reasons, and they rolled with their 2024 first-round pick. He compared to guys like Alex Smith coming out of college for his athleticism and game manager potential. He was never asked to carry the Michigan offense in college, but he did come through in clutch moments, and the Vikings felt like really that's all they needed at quarterback with how loaded their offense was. But things were ugly from the get-go. He looked atrocious for 3 quarters on opening day versus the Bears. Then he did rally in the 4th quarter in an impressive way to win that game. But the following week, it was back to really bad football. He threw 2 picks and fumbled 3 times in a crushing loss to the Falcons. He also got hurt in that game, which caused him to miss 2 months. Some speculate that this was a soft benching to reset. He returned in November, and despite a low yardage output, helped defeat the Lions in Detroit. After that, it was mostly rough. He had multiple multi-interception games in a row, low production outputs, and he got hurt again. In the end, the Vikings finished 9-8, which isn't overly reflective of how the season felt. JJ McCarthy finished with one of the lowest passer ratings in the NFL, throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. The offense turned the ball over more than any other team, and honestly right now Vikings fans are divided on him. Some feel like he needs more time, while others feel like his lack of production with this great offense and coaching staff, while being injury prone, are concerns you can't look past. Seeing how good things have gone for Sam Darnold in Seattle also makes things hurt even worse. Let's quickly run through the other rookie quarterbacks who I didn't cover in depth due to not playing as much. 3rd round project Jalen Milroe served as the 3rd stringer in Seattle, and he had 3 random carries during the season and no passes thrown. Brady Cook is an undrafted free agent out of Missouri who started 4 games for the Jets this year. It was brutal. They got blown out in all 4 of his starts, and overall, he had 2 passing touchdowns and 7 interceptions. After Miami put Tua on the bench, the 7th round Quinn Ewers got his chance to start 3 games. He was not great. He had a pretty good game against Tampa, but overall didn't give much for Dolphins fans to be excited about. For the Colts, Riley Leonard started 1 game and filled in for Daniel Jones in another. While the game that he filled in for Jones was so atrocious that it led to the team signing Phillip Rivers, his start at the end of the season against Houston was promising. The 6th round pick looks like a potential decent backup with time. And lastly, undrafted free agent Max Brosmer was thrown to the Wolves in Minnesota for 2 games. And it went about as bad as things could have gone, although he did okay filling in here and there later in the season. Who knows if he'll make the roster again moving forward. For fun, I've gathered the passer ratings for every rookie quarterback with at least 200 pass attempts during their rookie seasons over the last 10 years, so you can see where the 2025 quarterbacks stand. McCarthy and Shedeur were near the bottom. Gabriel and Ward were below average, and Dart and Shuck firmly stand side by side near the top. When you add the element of rushing, it really makes Dart look like one of the more impressive rookie quarterbacks over the last 10 years.
Good cut. Now here he goes, winding up, going. He's got him! Touchdown!